Welcome, guys. Thank you for hopping on. We are going to share some of the best practices that we've discovered over the course of this year with AttractZen. It's been real exciting. We've seen a great increase in usership and also how people have been using the software, which has really given us some great insights as to how we can help our users in recruiting more agents. So I'm going to share with you the top 5 overall themes and some specifics in order for you to be able to implement these. And then Sean will review some of the features and benefits that that'll help you as well. So we're going to hit on 5 things. Consistency, confidence, value, leverage, and follow-up. And I'm going to start with consistency. Just like anything, it's extremely challenging to be good at anything without practice, without consistency. You know, today I went to the gym, haven't been to the gym in honestly about 6 months, and it was tough for me. And I know that tomorrow when I go, I know it's going to be difficult. But if I wait a couple of weeks and then I go again for the 3rd time, it's going to be even more difficult. So consistency was a big theme. So we asked a bunch of our users who are recruiting agents what type of consistency they use, what habits they form, and what structure that they use. What we've seen is that on average, 1 hour per day, time blocked, has been the answer. This is where we've seen the most success. Obviously, if you put in more, that's great, but 1 hour time blocked. So ask yourself right now, are you spending 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a week? Is it time blocked? 1 hour time blocked. If you can do that and find a time each day where you can get on and start making calls or doing some follow-up or setting appointments, then you will see more success. Structure and habits, practice. Setting goals. This is another thing that has really helped agent attractors be consistent. Setting goals and doing it in 90-day increments. So it's easy for us to say that we want to recruit agents, but we don't have a number in mind. We don't know how many agents, we don't know how many calls it's going to take, how many follow-ups. We don't have a plan. But just like anything else, if you get in your car and you plan on driving from Denver to San Francisco, if you don't know when you want to be there, then you won't be able to identify what stops you need to make along the way, how much gas that you're going to need. You won't know how much it's going to cost if you need to take a car or if you need to take a bike or if you need to take a plane. So 90 days has been the key in what people have been using in order to set proper goals for agent attraction. So in the next 90 days, if you want to recruit 3 agents, then what does that look like for you? How many calls do you need to make in those 90 days? And then you can divide it by 3, and then you know how much you need to do each month. So setting 90-day goals, that'll help you with your consistency. 1 hour a day, set a 90-day goal, and practice. So that's under consistency. Let's talk about confidence next. Confidence is a tricky one, because nobody gives us the magic bullet to get listings, to attract agents, to help people make the biggest decision in their life, right? I mean, this is their career. Switching brokerages is no joke. There's a lot to consider when you're switching brokerages. So having the confidence, which starts with scripts, knowing what to say on that initial call, and then knowing what to say when you're following up with people. It's all about the language and the value that you come in with. So we've seen that the best performing agent attractors have been using scripts as an outline, and they've had a much higher conversion rate when they were prepared. So scripts, repetition, another best practice that we've seen that's been extremely effective is making it fun. Making it fun. I know, how is something so difficult, like making calls and attracting agents, prospecting, so to speak? I mean, how can that be fun? Well, one way of doing it that we've seen effective is finding a small group, can be 3 or 4 people, who are going to time block the same time each day as you, 1 hour each day, and doing a Google Hangout where they prospect together, they make their calls, same hour each day. This also helps with accountability. And they're on the phones with other people on a Google Hangout, and they are, Sean, you got that? Here, I'll admit, Dimitri. So getting on a Google Hangout and making it fun. And this is something that I used to do when I was prospecting for sales listings. I had about 7 or 8 other people on a Google Hangout, and we would prospect together. We would listen to each other, and this also affords encouragement, right? You know, when you're doing something good and other people hear you, you're also learning from them, because a lot of times if we don't know what to say, but we have other people that do know what to say, we're learning from them. So making it fun, using the right scripts, repetition, and then simplicity. This is also something that builds confidence. So confidence, we said scripts, repetition, making it fun. A good way to do that is through a Google Hangout, and simplicity. And simplicity, I mean, one thing at a time. One of the best phrases that I always try to remember is, what's the best way to eat a watermelon? And it's one bite at a time. You can't eat a whole watermelon in one sitting. It's one bite at a time. So keep it simple and choose one thing that you want to focus on or you want to improve with your agent attraction, and focus on that. You'll get much better results if you keep it simple. So we talked about consistency and confidence. Let's talk about leverage. One of the ways that we've seen increased conversion, setting appointments, and follow-up is by using ISAs. ISAs can be extremely helpful. Not everybody should be using ISAs in order to, and that's an inside sales associate if you're not familiar with the term. In order to be successful with a remote team member, they have to know the script, and they have to have a system, right? They need to be trained. So if you don't currently feel strong enough to convert and to attract a lot of agents yourself, then it's going to be challenging to bring in an ISA and train that person to do the thing that you haven't achieved a high level of success with yet. But if you are, for the ones that are prospecting and converting agents, utilizing ISAs has been extremely effective. They've utilized them to set appointments, and also with the follow-up. Some people will see them on three-way calls, and they're doing follow-up. Their ISA is on, and they're taking notes while they're talking. This allows you to keep that confidence, like we spoke about before, when you're focusing and talking to people, right? So it's all about that confidence. Value. So number 4 out of 5 here is value. So we talked about consistency, confidence, leverage, and now value. With value, we're talking about coming from a place of contribution, utilizing lead magnets, resources, whether they're PDF downloads or videos. Now, the trick is you have to have good content that is relevant for an agent, and you have to know your audience. So, for example, if we use the fishing analogy, if you're fishing, you have to think, what type of fish are you fishing for? Are you looking for a tilapia, a bass, a trout, whale? What are you using to fish, right? Who are you fishing for, and what are you using to fish? Because that lead magnet, that resource, the PDF or the training, it has to apply to that specific ideal client profile, that which is what we call it. So utilizing lead magnets, which is going to educate your audience, and it's going to help them grow. They see that you're coming from a place of value and contribution. Some of the lead sources that respond best to this are local real estate schools. So everybody has local real estate schools in their market. And if you can develop a relationship with them or a sponsorship where you can get their list of agents and you can prospect that list of agents, offer them lead magnets, pieces of value, they're going to view you as the authority and the leader, and it's going to make a much easier transition for them to join with you rather than go somewhere else or to a different brokerage. So that's one lead source that responds really well to value. Another lead source that responds really well to value are agents that are doing between 1 and 10 deals a year. And the way that you find that out is you go into your local MLS and you can pull reports like that very easily. Once you get those reports, you can then start calling those people. You can send them emails with these pieces of value, and they're seeing you as the authority. We've seen a lot of success with that strategy. So consistency, confidence, leverage. We just talked about value. The fifth best practice that we've seen over the course of the year with our users has been having the right follow-up. Because let's be honest, the first time that you talk to somebody, they're not looking to make the move. It's very rare that that the first time that you contact someone and talk to them about the opportunity, that they're ready to move, right? Usually takes a little while. That cycle sometimes can be 6 months or sometimes 6 years, depending on the production and the level of the agent. So with that follow-up, here are some of those key points that we've seen across the board for some of our successful agent attractors. Consistency, just like we talked. So the theme, if you can't tell, has been consistent, consistent, consistent. If you just try to set it and forget it and you don't get on and do the work, you're not going to get the results. So consistency, understanding that not everyone's ready now, because everyone's not ready now. I mean, like we said before, it could be 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 years until you convert someone, but you do have to have the follow-up and keep it simple when you're following up with people. So make a call, make it personal, and ask questions. Questions is extremely important in the follow-up. So when we talk about follow-up, again, consistency, understanding not everybody's ready now, and whatever it was I just said there, I think keeping it personal. I didn't have that in my notes, but yeah, consistency, understanding everybody's not ready now, keeping it personal. Oh, asking questions. That's what the third one was there. Asking questions, asking good questions, asking better questions. Here's some of the questions that you can ask. How are things going for you in real estate? How's the market treating you? Are you on track? What are your goals for sales this year? Are you on track to hit those goals? What's standing in your way? Are you happy with your broker? Just so many different questions to identify what their specific pain point is, because everybody's different, and that's how you keep it personal. So those 5 best practices: consistency, confidence, value, leverage, and follow-up. Those are the 5 overall themes that we've seen with our most successful agent attractors over the course of the year. Underneath those themes were some of the best practices. Sean, do you have, excuse me, do you have your slides ready to review the system?
I do. Yeah. Thank you for that, Jay. Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
Should jump in on that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, great. I am gonna share my screen. Now we'll get into some of the details. So here, allow me to share this, and then I'm gonna put it in presentation mode. Maybe Jay, just let me know that this is working and you all can see that, correct?
Yeah, we see this. We see.
Okay, great.
We see
Okay, great.
Oh, yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, so kind of the segue here, right, is, and Jay has done a lot of work with a lot of our top clients and top agent attractors and recruiters. And so this actually started earlier this year, although I would say in earnest, we began about mid-year, a little bit later, into developing here at AttractZen, how we really started with asking the question, how can we best support, those fundamental best practices in terms of agent attraction and agent recruiting? And so one thing we did is we identified what are the problems with most of the recruiting systems out there. Okay, what were the major ways that our agent recruiters were either not being supported at all, or the friction they were having with whether it was, a piece of software or a tool or a database or whatever. So we've put together a list here. This is really based on over 200 plus users of input, really some of the top recruiters nationwide at a number of different brands. If we said those names, you would recognize those people. They're the people on stage often at these kinds of events. And, really as a software, we've been around for 2.5 years doing this. The genesis of AttractZen software, software started when I came over to eXp Realty and wanted a software that would specifically leverage myself and the rest of my network in agent attraction and recruiting efforts. Also, we have the wisdom of a lot of amazing things happening within our software, over 750,000 emails a month, over 300,000 text messages per month. And so we're able to see a lot of, what works, what doesn't work. Again, that feedback that a lot of our top agent recruiters and attractors have been so gracious in sharing. So we did identify some of these problems. I wouldn't say they're the only problems, but there's some of the problems. Problem number 1 being having just the software. And if you've been with us for any length of time, you will probably resonate with some or all of these challenges or problems in the agent attraction space. Software is great, but it doesn't address strategy and it doesn't address skill. And frankly, if you're just using a piece of software, it could really, if you're not using it correctly, it could be damaging. It could be damaging. It could damage your reputation. It could jeopardize your standing with your brokerage. They might not like if you're, putting a message out there or reaching a lot of people in a particular market or a particular office with messaging that is quote unquote offending people or rubbing people the wrong way, or conflicting with their ego, whatever that may be, whether it's on your side of the fence or theirs. So just having the software isn't isn't enough. That much we know. There's a second problem that we identified, which was just cold calling. Now, I will say there are a few outliers to these things. I know just a couple of people who are absolutely brilliant at cold calling real estate agents, and they've got a savvy script. They've got that extra special, what Jay was mentioning, probably 9.5, 9.8 skill level out of 10. And they can consistently get their foot in the door with X% of people they're cold calling. But the major challenge that most of us have with cold calling is that only about 1% of agents are actually ready to switch brokerages at any given moment in time. So if I'm calling, let's say 100 people, and you could say cold call, cold text, whatever, we've probably all gotten these when we're not with our current brokerage, or even if you're an agent now, you're probably getting some of these, right? Which is you're at the brokerage you're at because you probably want to be there. If you didn't want to be there, you would have moved yesterday. And so the default answer, of course, is going to be, hey, no thanks. Not only am I not maybe shopping for a brokerage or looking for my next brokerage, I'm not even thinking about it. And depending on my level of ego, I might even be offended that you asked me that because, I consider myself a loyal person. How much I love the broker in charge, the owner of my brokerage, the overall brand, my loyalty, maybe if I've got, a lot of camaraderie with agents in the office. And so this can be problematic to just cold call because there's maybe about a 99.5% chance that the person you're about to call, at least mentally, as my mentor Vlad says, who's done a lot of recruiting, their gate may not be open to even considering the idea if you're just cold calling. Okay, so that's a problem. Problem number 3, people will say host events. You've probably seen, as I have, certain agents, whether they're icon agents or agents who are just good with a crowd, they have sometimes naturally gravitated towards hosting events. Again, the major problem for most of us is going to be, it's a huge undertaking. You need content, right? I mean, that alone, what am I going to teach on? What's the content going to be? I need a venue. I need to practice my delivery. I need to be actually good at that delivery. You need a lot of people to show up. You still need a nurture system. You still need a system after those people show up for that one event. You don't want to just have it be one and done and see us someday or come to our event, next year or something like that. You do need some kind of nurture system in place in between any events you were to host. Again, most of us, it just feels so daunting to put together, whether they're live or online events. It can be pretty intimidating. Of course, we could just produce consumable content, right? We can, and I know more people have done this, but again, it's a relatively small percentage of us who get excited about putting together, creating a large amount of valuable content that can be consumed online, right? There's all those steps. It's one of those things that's easy to say, not easy to do. So you can say, I want a library of content, that whether it's agents who join my organization or have not yet joined my organization can consume. Okay, well, now you got to record it. You have to edit it. You have to upload it. You have to protect it. All that work that goes into that can be daunting. And the fifth one problem, again, not the only or not an exhaustive list here, problem is going to be that it's only brokerage focused. Okay, it's only brokerage focused. Same challenge as with cold calling, similar to cold calling. If most agents aren't ready to switch brokerages today in the moment when you ask them, they may be turned off if most of your communication is simply about your brokerage and not about helping them in some way, coming from contribution about their career or their business. right? And so that this is often, again, where if it's not brokerage focused content, you'll see people go back to either hosting some kind of educational event or some kind of, put together some kind of like educational library. So these were the problems we considered. And what we went to work on was really a system, not just our software, not just a piece of software, but an actual system that can address all of these challenges. I'm going to flip through this quickly. This is for those of you already in, our circle, right? Current clients, maybe a few prospective clients, but really what I want to show you is peel back the curtain a little bit here on what we're excited to roll out for 2023. We call it our agent attraction system for 2023. Much more than a piece of software, much more than, hey, come up with something to send in a video. That is what is broken in this process for so many of us. And we humbly submit, we are attempting to help solve that problem with you. This is not a magic pill. There is no silver bullet. Of course, there's work involved, but let's jump into it real quick. We've got a brand new agent attraction website. It's custom branded and personalized to you. A lot of you have seen previous versions of this that we've had, which we've called like Zen card, or, basically kind of like your digital business card with information about yourself. It sounds simple, but when it comes to doing agent attraction and agent recruiting, it's good to have an online home that really, people can just learn about you. They can, they can see everything that you're up to, and, or they have your contact information. They can reach out if you're top of mind, to talk to you further. So that's a big one. The second big thing we've done is put together custom landing pages, in not just a couple of custom landing pages. We've got at the moment over 18 different custom landing pages with items of value. Now, what happens is, of course, to get those items of value, right, the lead form needs to be filled out. And we call this, this approach lead magnets, okay? And what we've put together and produced for you are free training resources, which we call lead magnets, that really come from contribution. They resonate with what will be a majority of the things that agents in production are going to find at least somewhat interesting. Of course, some are going to be more interested in sellers versus buyers and things like that. So you see a couple of examples here of those lead magnets. We've got two main types of lead magnets. One is download a PDF, right? Download your free PDF, enter your information here. Okay. Now you already have their information, probably if you're reaching out or sending this out to them or inviting them to download this. And yet the objective is to see, do they actually download it? And then when it comes into their inbox, that it is a legitimate item of value. These items of value, these training PDFs, it's not a one pager, hey, here's 3 ideas kind of thing that you could read and scan in, 45 seconds and say, I already do half of that. These are proven systems and training from, quite frankly, libraries that we have access to, where these trainings are often being sold for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, written by real people who've been in the field and sold thousands of homes. That's the caliber of this type of content we really wanted to over deliver for your prospects. And in addition to just PDFs, we've got the videos. So these training videos, again, same target, which is agents in production. We've got free training resources. For example, this one, how to quickly build rapport and boost your lead generation. Here's the cool part. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to, get a special webcam and a special microphone and a special background and record it and then hire a video editor and then, go and try to upload it to our software and gatekeep the video. We've done all of that for you. Now, if you're one of those super ambitious people and you'd like to take our content and potentially customize it, we have an option for you. But really, we've done all of the legwork for you. You're plugging and playing with this, right? This is in a box, done for you content. Those videos are gated, right? So again, they have to opt in. Of course, we keep track of when they opt in. We alert you when they opt in so that you can follow up, because they've obviously at least started watching one of your videos. And here's a really cool part on the videos. And some of you may have heard about this in our announcements. We now have native video tracking. Our system tracks what % of the video was watched. You know, and it's one thing if they're watching a video about your brand. That's probably somebody who's at the moment, admittedly, further down the funnel. They're curious. We have that content as well, obviously in the agent attraction system for your own brand. Okay. But the really cool thing here is they've consumed something of real value that they can go and implement in their own business. And it shows you, did they watch 25%, 50, 75, 100% of the video? You receive those alerts and it allows you to follow up. So recapping here, our agent attraction system solves these major problems. And we put this together in a very straightforward fashion for you. And we're really excited to roll this out to you. So it's not just the software. It comes from contribution. It's not about your brokerage, although we do have that in the system when you would like to share those specific pieces of information. It goes in, you know, not hot, but cool to keep the door open. It notifies you when they may be ready for a conversation, right? And all that content creation is done for you. So who is this for? Last few slides here. Any current customer who would like it, all you have to do is message us. It may take us some time, but we're going to deploy that into your account. We're going to customize it for you. Obviously, most of you, we probably already have, you know, the basics on you and your profile picture. If you've got an updated one or something like that, let us know. Our automation specialist will do this for you. It really is, we may ask for your review. It's going to be on a first come, first serve basis. This isn't some ridiculous template that, you know, is super generic. We are putting your information in here. And by the way, don't forget your downline. If you've got other people who do recruiting with you, or you'd like to see do recruiting with you, bring them into our family, introduce them to AttractSend. But for yourself right now, we want you to message us. Okay. We want you to message us. We've got outreach campaigns in there. We've got nurture campaigns in there. We've got those hot lead alerts on your mobile app. It's a complete ecosystem. All your leads are in one place. Everything to do with agent attraction. We want this to not just be a piece of software, but an all-in-one solution that helps you address both strategy and the skill of staying in touch with people, right? Coming from contribution with fellow real estate agents who you'd like to see at your organization without feeling like you're trying to sell them on something or cajole them into moving at any particular moment in time. We've got lead scoring included, you guys. Every activity they take in the agent attraction system is contributing to a lead score, so you can follow up more often, more frequently with the people who may be more likely to do something based on their lead score. Of course, we've got scripts and handlers. We will be releasing shortly an agent attraction playbook for those of you who don't already have one. Jay had just rattled off a lot of valuable scripts. This is really the culmination and the curation of best practices from a lot of our top customers, our top clients, not just people who are doing a lot of agent attraction, but they're doing it effectively, and they've got the numbers to prove it. So I thank you for your time today. I trust this was helpful. If you're excited about this, please tell others who you'd like to see be incorporated into this system along with you. And I just want to say, I just want to end with, we really appreciate you. We appreciate your trust. We appreciate everything you're doing to grow your business, especially in this time. This is a special opportunity time for those of you who understand the tumultuous nature that a lot of agents are going through in their business. This is a great time to implement an entire system like this, because it allows you to come alongside them and not just say, hey, you know, do you want to switch brokerages? But really come alongside them, come from contribution, help them with something that probably everybody's most agents in the business are kind of looking up and going, you know, how do I keep my production chugging along, you know, given a lot of these market conditions? So I trust it's helpful. I'd love to hear some specific success stories. This does involve work on your part. Obviously you're gonna want to follow up with people, right? All of the basic fundamentals that Jay mentioned still apply. And yet we trust this is an entire solution for you, a turn package, done for you solution. If you want to add on to it, if you have some of, you know, your own training and that kind of thing, certainly you can do that. It's flexible enough for that. And yet we wanted to deliver this to you going into 2023. Because I know a lot of you are going to have success. You really do care about who you're speaking with. You want to see them do well. You care about their career. And so we know with a system, an entire system like this, it's just going to set you up for more success for 2023 and beyond. Jay, anything else you want to add? We're a bit over on time here.
No, you covered it. Mark Adams wants it, and then there's a couple of other people that that will deploy it into their accounts first too, that are on the call that that I mentioned to you before. Yes, 2023 is going to be an exciting year. There's going to be a lot of agents switching around to different brokerages, wondering if they're at the right place where they currently are. It's a huge opportunity to get your agent attraction system in place and on point so that you can grow your organization. So,
all right. Thanks again, everyone, for coming on. And if you're watching this video recorded, again, please message us right now, whether it's on our website, inside of the software, in our lower right-hand chat window. Just reach out to us. You've got our website and our app. So we'd love to hear from you. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. See ya.